The Washington Post is out with a sweeping look at President Trump's months-long attempts to reopen the economy amid the coronavirus pandemic. In interviews with 82 administration officials, the Post outlines a story of desperation and dysfunction with a detailed look at what took place in the 34 days between March 29th, when Trump agreed to extend social distancing guidelines, to this past week. During that time, the Post notes that Trump was so determined to extinguish the deadly virus that he repeatedly embraced fantasy cure-alls and tuned out both the reality that the first wave has yet to significantly recede and the possibility of a potentially worse second wave in the fall. According to the paper, in early April, tensions were growing between the doctors and scientists advising the response and the president's economic and political aides. Despite having no expertise in epidemiology, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett built an econometric model to guide response operations, which was embraced inside the West Wing by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and other powerful aides. For Trump, the analysis provided justification to pivot to where he preferred to be, cheering an economic revival rather than managing a catastrophic health crisis. Senior administration officials tell the Post that the task force members with medical degrees, including Dr. Deborah Birx and Dr. Anthony Fauci, splintered off in mid to late March and began meeting almost daily. Some of them were distressed by what one official dubbed the voodoo discussed within the broader task force. This is like as sad as it gets, Joe, in terms of having a president who actually wants to manage a crisis versus really appealing to his basic, deep-seated, quite frankly, some might say, nasty instincts to try and win politically.
Well, forget about the politics of this. I mean, the president himself is now admitting
he doesn't care about the science.
Yeah, but again, what is so maddening is that, as I've said repeatedly, Mr. President, the best health care option is the best economic option.
You never get that.
Is the best political option. You see, I've been telling you this, and I know you watch. I've been telling you this, Mr. President, now for what, a month, 2 months? The best health care option, what's best for Americans' health, is best for the American economy, because it allows small businesses to get back to work, is best for your political standing, but you still don't get it. And Peter Baker, this Washington Post report really does lay it out well. The Times have done some great reports like this as well, but it talks about these fantasy cure-alls that the president has kept pushing. First it was April, warm weather in April. Then it was hydroxychloroquine. And then it was bleach or disinfectants and lights. And in those last two cases, the government, Trump's administration, had to come out and warn Americans not to do that. But I love how they put it. And it's really, if we can break it down to senior citizens who are being lied to by this administration and governors who are being pressured by this administration, this president is lying about the first wave. Acting as if it's over. The first wave, as we would say in Florida, it's still breaking. It's still cresting. People are still dying. The president's shocked. He's basically doubled in 2 weeks how many people he said could die from this in 2 weeks. And he's denying that a second wave is coming. It is remarkable that the president keeps making these mistakes. Who is in charge? Other than the president, is there anybody else? Does Jared Kushner have the president's ear? Does Dr. Fauci have the president's ear anymore? Does Dr. Birx have the president's ear? Like, who has the president's ear to say, you know, Mr. President, the last 2 weeks since you've been pushing to reopen, your estimates have gone from 50,000 to 100,000 dead in 2 weeks? I mean, who's talking to him?
Well, I think everybody's talking to him, but it depends on how he takes the information. Look, you're right about the fall. That's an important point here. Where are we going to be at this point in September, which is important not just for his political career, but for obviously the country as a whole, for these schools and campuses that want to reopen, for businesses that would like to bring people back. And if there's a second wave that is anything like the first wave, which historically is what we've seen, that's what we saw in the 1918 pandemic, that not only will, as you point out, be a healthcare crisis, it will also destroy confidence in the ability to come back to work and the ability to go back out and shop and live life. As you pointed out, the health crisis is connected directly to the economic crisis. You can't fix the economy without having the public at least confident that the health part of it is fixed as well. And you did hear the president pivot a little bit about that last night. In the past few days, he's been saying, well, there could be, there won't be, maybe there will be, maybe there won't be another wave in the fall. But if there are embers, we'll put them out, as if it was simply a small threat. Last night, he did say, well, it could be a fire. We'll have to put out a fire. And I think that's what the health experts have been telling him. It may not be just embers, it could be a fire. Dr. Fauci has been quoted on record saying that it could be, a very serious threat in a second wave in this fall. And that's what he worries about as we're eager to reopen our own life.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.